are studying this particular subject, that is the human resource analytics, and in the first session of the human resource analytics we will be talking about the understanding the recruitment, that is the what is the recruitment is there, and then how the recruitment is matching the needs of the applications and organizations, and what is the standard process of recruitment. However, I understand, I know that is the recruitment will be the process will be different for these different organizations, but there is a standard process which most of the organizations are following, these are the guidelines you can say. You might have also seen my that's a particular subject, that is a talent acquisition, and in the talent acquisition also we have talked about the recruitment process. Here we are talking about the in general the recruitment process, and this we will be discussing with the help of the case study, and that is the LinkedIn and the modern recruiting, that we will be talking about as an example. Then we will be talking about the situational factors which are the impacting the recruitment, and the sources of the different recruitment process are there. On basis of this we will be also see that is what are the alternatives to the recruiting are there, and the evaluation of the sources of the recruitment, that we will be discussing. Now first we will talk about the introduction to recruitment is there. According to the prospecting theory, the recruitment is the process of locating and encouraging potential applicants to apply for existing or anticipating the job openings are there. So it is a complete process, and in this particular process we are identifying or locating, and also we try to attract the talent, and therefore it will be encouraging the potential applicants, and we have to also see that is our recruitment process reaches to the all the possible talented applicants, potential applicants, so that we will be having the more and more choices, and there we can be having this existing the our job openings to the these candidates. According to the matching theory, recruitment is actually it is a two-way traffic. It is linking function, joining together those with jobs to fill and those seeking jobs are there. And here it is to be understood that is the it is not the one way, because it is the linkage. This process, in one side the organization need the manpower, so therefore in that case organization will go for the particular process of the reaching to these potential applicants. Similarly, the potential candidates they will apply to the organizations, and therefore according to this matching theory, it is the matching between the those who are looking for the manpower and those who are the manpower who is looking for the industries or the companies are there. So certain influences however retain a firm while choosing egg recruiting sources. Here we will be find out that is what are the different factors are there, and how these factors they are affecting this particular aspect of the recruitment is there. The first and foremost is the poor image. Now we have to also understand that is the whenever we are going for the recruitment process, the organizations will be looking for whether it is having the proper image in the surrounding applicants or not, because if the applicants they find the organization image or the recruitment process is not a proper process. A simple example is that is we are applying, and we are applying for this particular organization, and organization does not respond. If the organization does not respond for the long time, then definitely in that case next time the candidate will not apply, and which will creating the this poor image will be there. So to avoid this poor image we have to make the our recruitment process very strong. Second is the jobs which are the we are advertising, whether they are the attractive jobs or not the attractive jobs. So there are the unattractive jobs are there. If there is an unattractive job, then definitely applicants will be less, and those positions will not be fulfilled. So therefore in the recruitment process we maybe there may be the really certain jobs which are not attractive jobs, like for example monotonous is there, and there is no additional variable pay is there, and like this there is no attraction, there is no motivation, but still those jobs are to be performed. If those jobs are to be performed, then definitely we have to give the certain other support to this type of the jobs are there. So for example, that is the role and responsibility which we can make the higher, so that that particular jobs who are having experience in that particular job, they get their better promotional facilities. Third one is the conservative internal policies are there. Now with the period of time, the organizations have learned that is we have to make our all reward policies, especially our incentives, the mode of incentives, the type of incentives, and that we have to change. And therefore, in that case, for a candidate, sky is the limit. That means that he, if he performs more, he will be able to get more. I would like to give the example of like the IT system is there. In IT system, we are having the teaching, training, research, consultancy, administration. So, all these 5 pillars. So, therefore, it is not only that is the you are focus only the one dimension, but either you are a good researcher, no, you are supposed to be the balance between the all the 5 pillars are there. So, therefore, in that case, if the policies of the rewards are good, so then you can have the more opportunities to perform and better earnings are there. So, organization should avoid these conservative internal policies. Then limited budgetary support is there, and there many times that is many organizations they do not have this training fund, and therefore employees are not able to learn new things. Many places employees are not recommended for the different training programs because of the limited financial resources or budgetary support is there. Then definitely employees will not go to get this type of the trainings where they are supposed to learn. And restrictive policies of the government is there, and therefore, in that case, if the government is making certain policies which are not favorable for the selecting the talent, then definitely in that case you will find here there will be this, these factors they will restrain a firm while choosing a recruitment sources is there. So, what is required is that is there are the many dimensions which you have to focus on. For example, the control management is there. What type of the control you are having and how you are going for these control mechanisms. Similarly, your the time of his role, that is a payroll management is there, and how you are calculating your wages, your salary, and your the incentives and rewards, and the in the payroll how much an employee is getting, what deductions are made. And naturally in India there are the certain labor laws are there which are taking care of this. For example, when we are talking about the payroll management, then the Payment of Wages Act, Payment of Minimum Wages Act is there, and accordingly this Payment of Wages Act and the Minimum Wages Act, there will be the payroll management will be there. Then there will be time to time there will be the different incentives which will be paid to the employee. There might be the reimbursement, and that reimbursement will be done frequently. So, therefore, in that case you will find that is this payroll management is there. Then there will be the performance management in HRM. Therefore, we are talking about these appraisals, and here I would like to add that is earlier we were talking about the traditional performance appraisal methods, but now we are talking about the modern appraisal methods are there. So, it is a 360-degree, and in 360-degree we are talking about the superior and subordinate both. While in the case of the potential candidates are there, we are using this performance appraisal for their future career planning, for their training programs, for their role diplomacies. So, therefore, in that case it will be that is the how we can make the our performance management system very strong is there. Then the in the recruitment there will be always the this type of this the training management. What type of training management? If the training management is properly managed, frequently training is given, exposure is given, naturally the talented will be like to come and join the organizations. Similarly, the benefits insurance and benefits management is there, and here all this process in which the one of them is the recruitment process is there. Now, in this case of the recruitment, matching the needs of the applications in the organizations are there. So, this is the information flow, and the organization need for the high quality employees are there. Now, we have to understand that is there are certain jobs and there are certain careers. Now, to whom we are recruiting? We are recruiting the job seekers or we are recruiting the career builders. So, therefore, in that case the organization need the career builders, because today there is an advertisement, applicant will apply and the applicant will join that particular organization, but the question arises that is how long he will continue in the organization. So, his retention or sustainability in the organization, that will depend on his the future, and then he should have that future career. If he is not having that potential, it is not the high quality employee, what will happen? He will stagnant to a particular position. Either he will leave the job, or he may not get the job, and then he will be the liability for the organization. So, therefore, many times we have to be very careful in the recruitment process, that is the high quality employees are there. Now, the definition of high quality from organization to organization, it will be different. Some organizations, they are looking for those type of employees, those who are doing their current job also, and they are able to do the future jobs also. Some organizations, they are restricted, that is their employees only for the current job is there, and therefore, in that case there is no career planning for this type of the organizations are there. So, they will recruit accordingly. Now, the potential applicants need for the suitable job is there. I would like to give the example that is many times, especially in the case of the management trainees, when they come to the campus and they talk about, that is the we want finance specialization in management education, we want finance specialization, we want HR specialization, we want marketing specialization. But when they join, then it has been observed, because there is a 6 months gap almost. In December, there will be the placement. The candidate is joining in the month of July. So, therefore, when he joins, that time he is given the another position, which is nothing to do with his academic background. Now, in that case, therefore, there will not be the suitability of job. Candidate will join, but if he is not getting the suitability or matching of the job with the candidate's the interest or his qualification, then definitely there will be the change of the organizations will be there. There may be these the internal applications will be also there, and these internal applicants are from the within the organizations are there. Some organizations, they have policy, that is some percentage will be there for the internal applicants, and some percentage of the vacancies that will be for the external applicant is there. In some organization, first internal candidates are preferred, and then the outsiders or the other than the internal candidates, they have been preferred. Now, this particular recruitment process of the applications and NIDAR, it depends on different environmental factors. Normally, we know these factors are the social factors are there. So, we talk about these social factors are there, and then we talk about this political, economical, technological, and one more is there, that is the legal. And this process is called the SPELT approach, that is the social, political, economical, legal, and technological. And when we are talking about these particular aspects, then in that case we find that is we are going for doing these SPELT approach, or that is the environmental approach is there. Whenever we are going for this type of the environment approach, we find that is the these recruitment process, it will be affecting. For example, when we are talking about the legal aspects are there, so labor laws and recruitment and procedures, that will be there. Whenever we are talking about the economical conditions, so therefore, the recruitment will be more or less, or the like the India, where the Prime Minister of India is talking about the trillion economy. So, therefore, in that case, definitely the future, which is the very bright, and there will be the more opportunities will be there. Similarly, the changes in technologies, like example, the AI is there. So, now the every job which we will be also talking in this particular subject, that is the role of the technology in the analytical processes. So, therefore, in that case you will find this is the how it is going to be the different is there. Now, the how recruitment process starts. So, recruitment process starts with the, that is the here the number of these applications are there, and then there will be the filtration process, and in there will be the selection, and they finally right employee will be there. Now, recruitment process is all about widening the general pool or the attracting more applicants. Now, you see there are the many organizations, multinational organizations, where the candidates are having this thousands of applications per day, right. So, therefore, there is required the ATS, application tracking system. When there is an application tracking system, then therefore, if the thousands of application are there, how they are going to be the screening. And here we should these are the softwares which are using this type of the application and recruitment process. So, they are having, that is the screening, and in the screening process, it is the keywords are important. higher the matching of the keywords, then there will be the better will be the chances of filtration of the application is there. It is very important, that is whenever we are talking about the this type of the processes, recruitment processes, then there will be these different types of these filtration will be there, and accordingly the keywords matching with the keywords, the system, the electronic system or the technical system, it itself will filter the applications which are the more having the matching of these keywords are there. So, applicant should be very careful, that is they have to understand the job profile and matching the job profile with those keywords are there. So, for example, it is about the industrial relations. So, then definitely like the labor laws is there, industrial relations qualification is there. So, some of these postgraduate diploma in personal management and industrial relations which I have done, and then there may be the words which will be looking for the another keywords where the employee is supposed to have the knowledge of the payment of bonus act or the minimum wages act, and all these aspects are there, or maybe the training and development is there, or the compensation management is there. So, therefore, if these keywords are there, then ATS, that is application tracking system, will definitely filter that, and accordingly they will be matching with this particular candidate, and the pool will be created. So, this creation of this pool of the job applications, right, this pool creation, that is becoming a very important, and whenever you are creating these job applications, these pools will be wider and wider, and that is the objective, that is we are making the widening of the pool of the applications are there. Now, when we are talking about the process of recruitment, so this is a standard process which is supposed to be followed by these HR executives at the time of recruitment. And then you can make the amendment. You might be having certain additions, but I hope that there is no deletion of the steps of any particular process is there. So, whenever we are talking about the human resource planning, so that is the first and foremost is that is the manpower planning, that is the identify HR recruitments are there, and whenever you are going for these identifying these HR recruitments, first and foremost we have to see that is the what are the manpower which is required. Now, how do you identify the required? So, there will be the HR manual. These HR manual will be having the certain jobs, right, and therefore, in that case we have to see that is what is the number of jobs are required. There might be three types of employees, that is the skilled, semi skilled and unskilled. If there are these three types of the employees are there, then definitely you would like to go for these particular aspects where you are talking about that is here the selection from the process is there, right. So, here it will be only possible whenever you are talking about that is what is the job analysis is there, and on the basis of this job analysis which you are talking having the knowledge of the jobs in the identifying the HR requirements are there. Whenever you are having the HR requirements, then you will be able to understand that is whether we are having the surplus employees, more employees, because you are this analysis of the scale, semi scale, unskilled, engineer, junior management, middle management, top management, all these jobs you are aware, number of jobs you are aware, and when you are aware number of jobs, you will find my future planning. My future planning is to adopt the technology. So, naturally in that case there will be the surplus employees. If there will be surplus employees, how to manage the manpower? By the retrench and layoff is there. So, as per the Standard Standing Order Act, as per the Industrial Dispute Act, and you will be having that industry these layoffs, whether you want to lay off or you do not want to have layoff, and therefore you have to manage those surplus employees are there. So, this will be there. So, you can understand the importance of manpower planning. If your manpower planning is not correct, then your surplus employees will be keep on increasing. There will be the employees without work, they will be asking for work. This we have seen at the time of the economic recession. And what some companies have done? Some companies have done the bench management. In the bench management, they have asked the employees to sit because now they are surplus. But then some organizations, they started giving them training. So, therefore, there is also possibility for the future projects you can prepare your own manpower. Now, this was the situation about the surplus employees. Now, the another situation is of the demand, that is what is the demand is there, and in the demand there will be the organizational recruitment policy. You have to frame your own recruitment policy is to be there, because there are the so many factors, as I mentioned, social, political, economical, legal and technological. So, therefore, in that case, if the technological aspects are there, your recruitment policy will be different. I would like to share one example. I have visited in 2019, before this COVID started, to this Manesar plant Maruti, and there were the thousands of employees into this Maruti plant at Manesar, India. And when I visited after 2 months to the Hyundai plant in Korea and Seoul, and then I found that is there are the very less manpower is there, because it was a more automated plant. So, therefore, now when you are talking about in the future, there will be the artificial intelligence. So, manpower recruitment will be very less. So, here organization's recruitment policy will decide the numbers and levels and criticality of the vacancies are there. For example, at the lower management during the season, and during the season there will be the absenteeism, and therefore, your numbers that you what you have to define, that will decide about your recruitment process. Then the choose the resources and methods of recruitment is there. Then the analyze the cost and time involved. Then the job analysis is to be done, and here you will starting with the implementing the recruitment program, and analyze the cost and time involved, and the selection and the hiring process will be there, and evaluate the program. So, this is the process of recruitment, where you will start from the planning, manpower planning, identify the requirements. If the surplus is there, you will plan accordingly. If there is a demand, you will go through your policy, identify the methods, what methods you would like to use. I will be discussing all these steps in the detail in further, and then accordingly the analysis of the job will be done, and finally there will be the selection and hire, and we have to see overall whether it is the time, cost and quality of our process of recruitment has been done properly or not. I would like to take an example here as a case study in the LinkedIn and the modern recruiting is there. And in the 2015 LinkedIn, the world's largest professional network was experiencing the explosive growth, and it needed to hire the very best people quickly to support and the fuel that growth is there. LinkedIn's for hiring approach used LinkedIn talent solutions to attract and retain talent. At the same time, the company was creating new recruiting models that put it in the forefront of the modern recruiting is there. Nowadays, it has become very popular, and then you see that is in the LinkedIn, the first jobs seekers that is becoming the most popular, that is they are going through the LinkedIn processes is there. And here the LinkedIn process that is had done well so far in bringing in the top talent is there. Everybody, those who are associated with the social media, and they put their profile on the LinkedIn, and the LinkedIn's executives they are also members, they are also looking for these profiles, and they select and they call for the interview, or they visit the campus also. So, therefore, LinkedIn has done well, very well so far in bringing in the top talent is there. And nevertheless, it is rapidly scaled. The challenges was making sure the company could compete with the other technical firms to attract the enough highly skilled engineers are there. So, most of the time it has become popular for the highly skilled type of these manpower or employees are there. So, LinkedIn recruiting team use specific techniques and over the 100 people to attract the talented candidates for positioning in engineering, sales and other departments are there, and slowly and slowly it is becoming a major source of recruitment is there. For the LinkedIn use the many techniques for the recruitment, replacing the cold calling potential candidates with the finding warm connections to them through the LinkedIn networks is there. So, therefore, it is not like that is the you are just posting your application and nobody is responding, that is a cold calling is there, while in the case here you will find that is they are having the warm connections are there. So, there is an interaction platform. So, using a data driven approach to identify the best candidates to pursue and developing the personalized online relationship with the top candidates, this is very important. Like the recruiter, it has the frequent interaction, It is not like this that only at the time of the recruitment only. As soon as the recruitment process starts, then therefore that company will like to develop that relationships. LinkedIn made internal hiring a priority for external hires. The company focused heavily on recruiting the passive candidates, right? People who were already gainfully employed and not necessarily looking for a new job also. So, it is also possible. That is there will be the LinkedIn will approach to those candidates, those who are not applying and they are not active, they are passive, and therefore LinkedIn's proposition is focusing on the extraordinary opportunities employees were given for the transformation once they join the LinkedIn team is there. Now, you see that when you identify the high potential and when you recruit them, then definitely in that case you are having that opportunity to making these employees for the transformation is there, and once they join the LinkedIn team is there, and then they become the better performers. These opportunities included personal advancement through a smooth path to change the jobs within the LinkedIn if they wished, as well as formal and informal program is there, and these are designed for the employees to pursue their passion and share their experiences are there. So, it has become the more and more interactive, it has become the more and more the informative, and it has become the more and more the suggestive the process is there. Now, there are the number of the famous jobs search sites are there. These are the certain names are there, but in addition to this also there are the number of sites, and where the people they go by the use of this particular slides for their recruitments are there. Now, what are the situational factors that is impacting the recruitment? As I already mentioned about the economic factors, social factors, technological factors, political factors, and legal factors are there. There is a spelt approach is there. Now, under this process in India, we find there are the different acts are there. Like example, Factories Act is there, the Apprentice Act is there 1961, the Employment Exchange Act, the Contract Labor Act 1970, because the number of the employees, those who are on the contract and by appointing a contractor, that is also increasing, and therefore, in that case this Contract Labor Act also becomes very important. A Bonded Labor System Act 1976 is there, and the Child Labor Act, because there should not be the child who is not legally supposed to be appointed is working at the workplace. Now, what are the different sources of recruitment are there? Promotion and transfer, that is to the internal candidate, and so therefore, if any vacancy is there from the internal candidate, you promote or you transfer from the one department to the another department, so that position is filled, or the job postings are there within department only, or you have selected the outside person, you want to keep in a particular job, so that job posting can be done. Job bidding is there, so therefore, always the jobs they keep on talking, that is this job is more important as compared to the another job is there, and employee referrals are there, where the employees are supposed to give these particular references where how they will going for these particular aspects. Now, these there are the another sources of recruitment for the external is, that is the advertisements are there, and many times you will find that is the companies are keep on giving the advertisements maybe on the social media, maybe on these particular aspects, and then the educational institutions will be there, those who are helping them to for the campus placement as such, for the getting the better employment is there. Employment agencies are there, like I have talked about the some of the agencies as the job search in the future. Then the interested applications are there, where the candidates has been found these applications found interesting, and through these external methods there will be the sources of the recruitments are there. Other than these the internal recruitment process and external recruitment process, there are the other processes also. For example, the outsourcing is there. Now, many companies are having the 60% of their jobs which are the outsourced are there. Overtime is there, where the overtime has been given. Then the subcontracting, the contractor is giving the contract to the another person. Temporary employees are there, which are working for this very short period of time, and the employee leasing are there, where the employees are getting the organizations leased, and therefore they can work into the another organization is there. How we should ensure that is which source of the recruitment that will be the best source. So, it is a time lapse data, and between the data of requisition for manpower supply from a department to the actual data filling the vacancies in that department. Then the yield ratios, they show the number of contracts required to generate a given number of hires at a point of time. and the survey and studies are there, suitability of a particular source for the certain positions are there. So, this is all about this recruitment process which we have talked about in the first session of the introduction, and then we will be talking about naturally about the different aspects of the recruitment in the next session. Thank you.